Our high-quality research-driven work has extended to government schools, which has immensely improved the learning quality of students. Our large-scale education programs work with state governments, international partners, and CSR to transform education on a massive scale. In 19 years of operations, we have pioneered assessment for learning, adaptive learning, topic test with instant results, and gifted education in India. We are EI, the leaders in EdTech space in India, and we're making sure that children everywhere are learning with understanding. Education becomes meaningful only when children learn with understanding. That is what we always strive to achieve. Back in 2001, when EI was founded, bringing measurability to learning was a pressing need that EI addressed with ASSET. After assessing millions of students across India and beyond, EI introduced MindSpark in 2007 to make learning adaptive and personalized. Later, to empower schools further, EI introduced detailed assessment in 2011, which helped students improve their performance with its data-driven approach. EI also saw the need to nurture academically gifted students, and hence, Asset Talent Search and Asset Summer Program were introduced in 2015. Our high-quality research-driven work has extended to government schools, which has immensely improved the learning quality of students. Our large-scale education programs work with state governments, international partners, and CSR to transform education on a massive scale. In 19 years of operations, we have pioneered assessment for learning, adaptive learning, topic test with instant results, and gifted education in India. We are EI, the leaders in EdTech space in India, and we're making sure that children everywhere are learning with understanding. Education becomes meaningful only when children learn with understanding. That is what we always strive to achieve. Back in 2001, when EI was founded, bringing measurability to learning was a pressing need that EI addressed with ASSET. After assessing millions of students across India and beyond, EI introduced MindSpark in 2007 to make learning adaptive and personalized. Later, to empower schools further, EI introduced detailed assessment in 2011, which helped students improve their performance with its data-driven approach. EI also saw the need to nurture academically gifted students, and hence, Asset Talent Search and Asset Summer Program were introduced in 2015. Our high-quality research-driven work has extended to government schools, which has immensely improved the learning quality of students. Our large-scale education programs work with state governments, international partners, and CSR to transform education on a massive scale. In 19 years of operations, we have pioneered assessment for learning, adaptive learning, topic test with instant results, and gifted education in India. We are EI, the leaders in EdTech space in India. And we're making sure that children everywhere are learning with understanding.
I can see a lot of you students have joined in today. A very good morning. A few of you have already wished us. Jadane, Aditya, good morning to both of you. How are you today? Good morning, parents and students. We at Educational Initiatives are very happy to have you join us for today's webinar. Today's webinar is on shapes. I hope you all are ready with your pen and paper. Yes, we will be having some questions coming up for you. Very well. So students and parents, please note down and keep your questions handy to ask, okay, at the end of the webinar. We'll be very happy to take up your queries. So while we are waiting for a few of other students to join us, your friends to join us, why don't I share with you all about this organization, Educational Initiatives. Educational Initiatives is a 20-year-old organization. It is a pioneer in its field that brings these informative webinars for all of you students every week. It is a research organization excelling in the field of education for the past over 20 years. We use deep research pedagogy, assessments, and personalized learning tools, which are empowered with artificial intelligence and machine learning to make learning easier and fun for you students. Educational Initiatives does not work not only with private schools, but also government schools. It also works with nonprofit organizations, not only in India, but across 19 countries in the world. More than 10 lakh students benefit from various programs provided by EI each year. We ensure that we use this real-time data that we make to make learning easier and fun, yes, for you students. I can see many more of you have already joined us. I hope you all are sitting ready with a paper and a pen or a notebook as convenient to you. We will be asking you some questions to solve, and it would be handy to have your pen and notebook with you so that you can immediately solve them and share your answers with us. I hope you're all ready. Can I see a few thumbs up? Can you all thumbs up and show me? Hello, Kiran. Thank you. Arush, I can see a thumbs up. Soumyajit, Siddharth, Samar, Nivedita, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Sai, Jaden. Jaden, thank you. I think you were one of the first students to join us today. Havish, Dhruv, very, very well. I think all you students are ready. I can see you're all sitting on your study tables and you're all ready with your notebooks and your pens. So let us begin. So for today's webinar, we have chosen the topic of shapes. And guess who's with me to tell you all about it? Yes, your favorite, Jerin sir. He will be taking you through the concepts. Welcome, Jerin sir.
Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, parents, for joining us. Thank you, students, for joining us. We're so happy to see you all on Sunday morning. Today, we will be talking about shapes. Okay, so students, are you ready to take notes, to do interesting questions? Okay, so let me share the agenda for today. We'll be discussing about shapes. We'll start with 2D shapes and their properties. Okay. Once we cover that, we move to 3D shapes and what are the properties of 3D shapes. We practice the questions through MindSpark, because practicing is very important. Maths, we need to practice. And then we have something very interesting known as fastest finger challenge. So my dear students, let me tell you that the students who wins this challenge, we have exciting rewards for you at the end. So gear up for that. We'll be doing a fastest finger challenge coming up. We will also understand the uniqueness of MindSpark live classes. How unique are MindSpark live classes? How are they conducted? And at the end, we will be happy to take up any questions that the parents or the students have. So let's begin. And let us all start the day with a question. So this is a poll question, my dear students. The poll will be launched to you, okay? But before that, let me read out the question for you. I hope all of you are ready with the pen and paper. So the question here is, Sheila is using small identical square chips to make a bigger square. The figure below shows the shape that she has made so far. What do you think? How many more small square chips does she need to finish making the bigger square? Is it 9? Is it 5? Or is it 4? Or is it 3? What do you think could be the answer? You don't have to answer in the chat box, students. Okay, the chat box is already disabled. We'll be launching the poll in another 10 seconds. I hope all of you have read the question. You have taken note of the figure. Now you see that the poll is going to be launched. You'll be getting 1 minute to solve this question. Let's see who gets it correct. Okay, great.
A lot of answers coming in, Jerin.
Yeah, I could see students being excited.
Yes. You know, their energy and their enthusiasm is visible from the fact that the minute they log in, they're already sitting on their tables, ready with a pen and paper.
Good, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Interesting.
Do read the question carefully, students. Very important. Select your answer carefully.
Very important. Very easy question also, but
yes,
very interesting.
I agree with you, Jerin. I'm not sure if I'm also calculating it, but.
We have got 5 seconds left.
Yeah. I will end the poll, students. Thank you for sharing your results, and let's see what Jerin sir tells us about them.
Okay, so we will now share the results with the students. Okay, so 50% of you are saying that option B, 5 is the correct answer. Okay. Now, and there are students who are saying that option A is the correct answer. But 50% of you are saying that option B is the correct answer. Let's see if that is correct or there is another option which is going to be the correct answer. Okay, so we stop sharing the results with the students and then we do the question. Okay, so students, can you all now see the question on the screen? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw the squares. Okay, so I'll start from here. Okay, the lines are not going to be straight, but yes, we'll hope. So this is, so we have drawn, how many squares now? We have drawn 3 squares as of now. We will draw 1 square here also. Okay, we will draw 1 square here also. Now I'll count. So now if I count 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means this side is 4 units. Now if I count this side 1, 2, and 3, this is 3 units. But in a square, all sides are equal, right? So that means this is 4 units, this is 3 units. That means all sides are not equal, which means I'll have to draw more squares. Let me draw 1 square here. Okay, let me draw another square here. Let me draw another square here, and let me draw another square. So now I can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is like 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also 4 units. So now I can see that I have drawn how many squares extra? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So the correct
9.
answer would
Yes.
be 9.
9.
So 50% of the students, they said 5 is the answer, because you know why? Because they were a little confused about the properties of the square.
Yes.
Now what we are going to do is, like, since we need to brush up our skills, especially when it comes to properties of 2D shapes, we will revise them. And
Okay.
how are we going to do that? We are going to have Ananya, the quiz mistress, with us, and she is very interested. She's going to ask us some questions. So students, are you all excited to listen to some questions and answer them? If you all are
Let's give
excited, just give me a
big
thumbs up.
thumbs up.
Great.
I am very excited.
Yes, that's exciting. Now, the first question that Ananya is going to ask us is, you need to, so what Ananya is going to do is, like, Ananya is going to give us some clues, and
Okay.
using the clues, we need to identify the correct answer for it. Okay, Amrita, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Looking
so
forward.
I'll open up the chat box. Students have to answer in the chat box. So the
Okay.
first question here is, who am I? So I'll give you the clues for it.
Okay.
I have 4 sides.
Mhm.
Each side is equal. What shape am I? So students, you have to answer in the chat box. What shape would it be?
Yes. Okay. I have a few answers, Jaren. Devansh, Sharvish, Bhavesh, they're saying square. Sarvan, Arpana, Satya, square. I had a
Okay.
diamond in between also. Jaya, Nimi, Siddharth are all saying a square.
Okay, since all of them are saying square, I'll go with square as the answer. Yes. So Ananya is saying yes, square is the correct answer. Why? Because see, square has 4 sides. These all are the sides of square. Okay. So now I can see that all of them are equal. So yes, we got the first question correct, and Ananya is very happy. So we have the second question for all of you on the screen now. The second question is, I have 4 sides and 4 corners. 2 sides are long and 2 of them are short. What shape am I? Let me see what are the students giving the answer.
Okay, Virat says a rectangle.
Okay.
Rectangles. Everybody seems to be saying a rectangle.
That's
Midhansh,
interesting.
Alicia, Yatharth, Avyan. Very good, children. Everybody's saying a rectangle. Let us find out if it is a rectangle. Jaren sir, could you share with us, please?
Yes, it's a rectangle. Now, what is the clue that it has given? That it has 4 sides. So students, can you see that this is one side, okay, this is the other side, and these two are equal. So in a rectangle, always the opposite sides are equal. So similarly, you can see this is one side and this is the another side. So the opposite sides are always equal in rectangle. Now, what is the clue? Second clue, that it has 4 corners. So which are the corners? So you can see that this is one corner, okay. This is the next, this is the second corner, okay. This is the third corner, and this is the fourth corner. So what is a corner? So corners are where the 2 sides meet. So this is a side, this is a side, and this is a point where the 2 sides meet. So students, are you excited to do more questions? If yes, then Ananya has another question for all of you. The question is, I have 3 sides and 3 vertices. What shape am I? Let me see what the students are answering. Okay, the students are answering what?
Yeah, Shravan is saying a triangle. Soumya said a triangle. Jaden, Arpana, Sunil, everybody's saying a triangle.
That's
Jaren
good.
sir, could you share the answer with us?
Yes, so the answer for this is triangle. Yes, now
Okay.
why it is the correct answer, we will see here. So here it says it has 3 sides. Yes, we can see the 3 sides of triangle. And then it is saying 3 vertices. What is a vertex? We will see. So now you can see this is known as what? This is known as a vertex. Okay. This is known as a vertex. Just one second.
Okay. So you mean the edge, the corner?
Yes. So we can call a corner as a vertex also, or we can call it as a corner also. Okay. So now we can see that this is one vertex. Okay. Similarly, this is the other vertex. This is the other vertex. So we have three vertex, and when we have more than one vertex, we call it as vertices. Okay. So students, I want all of you to take note of this. Yes, very interesting. Yes, thank you, students. Now, one more question that Ananya is going to ask us before we go for another interesting question.
Yes.
I have 0 corners and 0 sides, and I'm a round shape. So what shape am I?
Vivansh says circle. Oh, the answers are coming in. Virat says circle. Everybody's writing a circle, and they were very quick with this one, Jaren. You didn't even finish saying the question and then knew the answer. Very well done.
That's interesting. So yes, the correct answer is circle. So circle is not having any corner. Yes, it is not having any side also. Yes, good. So students have answered all the questions which the quiz mistress Ananya has asked them. Now, students, Ananya is coming up with another interesting poll question. So the poll question is, Ananya has a piece of paper.
Okay.
She cuts it as shown. Now you don't have to answer in the chat box, students. I'll disable the chat. Okay, it's done already. Thank you. After cutting the paper, what has happened to the sheet of the paper? Okay, so you have got three options. Is it the number of the sides have decreased, or is it the number of the sides have increased, or if they have remained the same? So I'm going to launch the poll. You'll be getting 45 seconds to answer this, students. Let me see who gets it correct.
So I'm launching the poll now. Students,
Yes.
I hope you've read the question very well. Think carefully before you answer. The poll will be on your screens now. 45 seconds for you to share the answers with us. Yes, the answers have started coming in very quick. These children are so fast. Very well done. Very well done.
Good.
Yes. Excellent. You have another 30 seconds to go. Very good. Read the answers carefully. Have the number of sides decreased? Have they increased? Or do you think they're still the same? Another 10 seconds to go. Very good. So I will share the results with Jaren sir. Let us see what he has to tell us.
Okay, so 62% of the students are saying that option B is the correct. That's interesting. But still almost like 30% of the students are saying that option 1 is the correct. Now let's see which is the correct answer here. So I'll stop sharing the results with the students. Now we will look at this question. Students, what we need to know here is that this is a square. Okay, this is a square. We can see that all the sides are equal. So how many sides are here? Here we have got 4 sides. Okay. Now what is a side? Side is basically a line. Okay. So now we will count the number of lines. So we can say that this is one side. Okay. This is the other side that I've got. This is the other side that I've got. This is the other side I've got. And this is the another side. So how many sides I've got? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So earlier it was 4. Now it's 5. So the number of sides have increased, which means option B is the correct answer. And this is so interesting to know that almost 70% of you got it correct. So good. Students, can you pat on your back because you got it correct? Can you all pat on your back? Very good, Ahmed. That's interesting.
I think you all deserve a big round of applause.
Great. Okay, that's interesting. Now let's see. Now see, previously we learned about sides till 4. Okay, we looked at rectangle, we looked at square. All of them have 4 sides, right? But Ananya comes up with another interesting question, and she says, what do we call a shape with 5 sides? So students, are you all interested to know that? Amrita?
Yes, I am. I am. This will be very, very interesting, very informative.
Yes. So all of you be ready with a pen and paper and take note of it, that a side which has got, or a shape which has got 5 sides, it's
Okay.
called pentagon. Now we can see that there are 5 corners also, right? What do we call a shape with 6 sides? We call it as hexagon, and it has 6 corners. So have all the students made a figure like this? Can I see if someone has made a figure like this?
Can you
Yes.
pick up your notebook and show it to us?
Okay, that's interesting. Very good. So students have drawn pentagon, hexagon. Okay, now what are these? These are basically polygons. Okay, we'll define what is a polygon. So a polygon can be defined as a flat or a plain two-dimensional closed shape. What is a two-dimensional closed shape? A shape which has length and breadth. So we looked at rectangle, right? So we know what is a rectangle, right? This is a rectangle. Yes, this is a rectangle. We can see. Now we can also see that how many sides a rectangle has. It has got 4 sides. So what is a, so this is known as what? This is known as the breadth. This is known as the length. So we know that since there is length and since there is breadth, we call it as a 2D, okay, two-dimensional figure. We call it as a two-dimensional figure. And since it has more than 2 sides, okay, it is called a polygon. Is it clear, students?
I
Is
have
it
understood.
definite?
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
Can we give Jarin sir a thumbs up if you've understood?
Very good, Jaden. You look so active. That's good to see you. Very good, Sarah. Very good, Summer. Okay, so good
Neha,
to see you.
Karthikeya. Neha, I can see you
Bhargav.
sitting and taking notes attentively. Ah, Didipya. Thank you. Namish, so good to see your parents having joined you in for this already. Bhargava also.
Okay.
I can see
So now,
Sam
since
also.
we have learned about polygon, let's do a question on polygon. Students, are you excited to do a question? Yes. I can see students nodding their heads. So this is a question. Which of the following are polygons? Is it shape 1, shape 2, shape 3, and shape 4? You've got 4 options, students. I'll launch the poll after 20 seconds. Read the question carefully. Do not answer in the chat box. This is a poll question. Yes. So we launch the poll for you, students. You get 40 seconds to answer this question. Let's see who gets it correct. So the poll is visible. Is the poll? Yes, the poll is now visible to all of you. This is interesting. This is interesting. We've got 20 seconds left, students. Okay, so we have got 5 seconds left, and I could see almost 80% of you have answered it. I'll give you another 5 seconds so that other students also answer. Okay, great. So now I'll end the poll and I'll share the results with the students. 38% of you are saying that only option 1 is correct. What is, okay, Okay, so this is quite a mixed response, Amrita. Let me tell you that. Now let us all solve this question. Okay, so what is the
Okay.
definition of a polygon? It says two or more straight sides. Okay,
Yes.
it should have a two or more straight sides. So this is a straight side, 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 and it definitely has more than two sides. So this is a polygon. Is it a
Yes.
polygon? Yes. Why? Two or more straight sides? Yes. Is it a polygon? Yes, it's a polygon. Why? Again, it has more than two straight sides. Is this a polygon? No. Why, Amrita? We have got a curved line here, not a straight line here. So it has to be two or more straight sides. So the answer would be only 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the answer would be C here. So students, have you got it correct this time? Have you understood this? Yes? So this is what a polygon is called. Yes, very good. So have you taken a note of polygon figures? Very good. Interesting. So now I have another question for you. This time it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Okay. So Lalit has a matchbox. The question is Lalit has a matchbox. He puts it on a paper and traces its outline as shown. Tracing which of these objects would also give him a rectangle. So there are 4 options. What is the answer going to be? Is it going to be a Rubik's Cube or a pizza box or a clock or a book?
Okay.
I'll wait for 30 seconds for the students to think, and then I launch the poll. Read the question very carefully, okay?
Yes. Students, please read the question very carefully. Think about the answer very carefully. We will share the poll question in another 10-15 seconds and then select the answers. I think, Jaren, the students, they are extremely receptive. They are very, very sharp and they're very attentive and they listen to you very, very carefully. I'm confident they will get the correct answers.
That's
So
good.
I will share the question with you.
Yep.
I request all of you.
Yes, you can see the poll is going to be live now. Yes, it's live. Okay. This is good.
You have the option of a Rubik's Cube, a pizza box, a book, or do you think it's a clock? Concentrate and think that which of these objects will give Lalit the shape of a rectangle. Another 15 seconds to go.
Yes.
Very good. So I'm going to share the results with Jaren sir. Let us see what he shares with us.
Okay. So I'm not going to explain this question. 84% of the students have picked up option C. I'm not going to explain it as of now. I'll give you a simple example on how do we solve this question actually, students. So let me share with you that we have now, what we are going to do now here is we are going to imagine that I have a book. Okay, so you have a book and you all have placed the book on the table. Okay, now what you're going to do is like you're going to trace the boundaries of the book. So let's see, I'm going to trace the boundaries of the book. Okay, now when I trace the boundary of the book, what do I get? I'll get a rectangle, right? I'll get a rectangle. So what is a rectangle? Rectangle is a two-dimensional polygon. Okay, so we know that rectangle has got length and the rectangle has got a breadth also. So it is a two-dimensional. So rectangle is always a two-dimensional polygon. But are our books 2D shapes? Are our books of 2D shapes? Let's see if it is of 2D shape or not. Okay, students. So I have a book. Okay, I can measure its length. Yes. I can measure its breadth. Yes, I do can measure. And I can also measure its height. Okay. So what do I can measure? I can measure its length. Okay. I can measure its breadth and I can also measure its height. So whenever I can measure length, breadth and height, this will become what? A 3D object. In fact,
Oh,
Amrita, let me share with you that
okay.
all the objects around us, most of the objects around us, in
Okay.
they are all 3D objects. So we can
Okay.
measure the length, we can measure the
Well,
breadth, we can measure the height.
okay.
And now we know what is a 3D object. So let's
Yes.
define what is a 3D object. Okay. So a 3D shape, a three-dimensional shape can be defined as a solid figure or an object or shape that has 3 dimensions. Okay. We can go for length, we can go for breadth, and we can go for height. So students, 3-dimensional object, I want all of you to take note of it. 3-dimensional, length, breadth, and height. Very important. Okay. 3-dimensional, length, breadth, and height. Now, we will learn some of the terms which are related to length, breadth, and height. Okay. So the first one is a face. Okay, first object is called, first term in 3D is called a face. So students, can you all see the book that I am holding? Yes, I think most of the students are able to see the book that I am holding. Okay, so students, just getting some echo, just 1 second. Okay, I think it is now clear. Okay, so
Yes.
we'll now, yeah. Okay, so we will see what is a face first. So a face is a flat or a curved surface. Can you see this? This is a flat surface. Okay, so similarly, can you see this is also a flat surface? Can you see this? This is also a flat surface. So this is also a flat surface. This is also a flat surface. So what is a face? A face is a flat or a curved surface on a 3D shape. So students, have you noted this down? Can you now think of what is face? Okay, very good. We'll now see what is edge. An edge is where the two faces meet. Now we will see. Okay, so we learned that this is a face. Okay, we learned that this is a face. So where are the two faces meeting? This becomes what? This becomes an edge. Okay, so see, similarly, this is a face, this is a face, right? So this will become what? This will become an edge. Okay, so now we know what is a face and now we know what is an edge. So what is a vertex? So we know what is a vertex, right? Most of our students know. So vertex is a corner where the edges meet. Now we know that this is an edge. Okay, we know that this is also an edge. So the point where the two edges meet, okay, 2 or 3 edges meet, it will be what? A vertex. Okay, so students, have you understood face? Have you understood edge? Have you understood vertex? Please give me a thumbs up if you all have understood face, edge, and vertex. Very good. Now we are going to, Amrita, you are mute. You will have to
Sorry,
unmute yourself.
I was just saying thank you, students. You're also very attentive. And I can see you've taken your notes. And especially with the big thumbs up for Jerin sir.
Thank you. So now what we will do is so we learned about book. Okay, so book is actually a cuboid shape. So students, can you count the number of face that is there in your book? Count the number of faces and put it in the chat box. How many face do you think a book has?
Let me see who all tells me. I'm waiting.
Okay.
4. Shravan said 4. Atish said 6. Everybody's saying, Nivedita again said, okay, 6. Siddharth is saying 6. Devansh is saying 6. Atharva, Namish, we're getting a lot of 6s. Okay.
Okay, that's great. So now let's see students. Let's see students. Which are the faces? Can you see this? The top one is a face. Okay. The bottom one is another. The side, there are two side faces. Okay. Front and back, and then there are two side faces. So total we have 6 faces in cuboid, or in book we have 6 faces. I hope all of you have understood. We have got 6 faces in a cuboid. Now we come to edges. Now what is an edge? Edge is where the two faces meet. So how many edges do you think a cuboid or a book will have? Can you count using your book, students? I'll count now.
Getting a lot of answers.
Okay. What is the answer that the students are giving you, Amrita?
12, 6. I think, Jaren, so just repeat what you asked. They're still confusing, I think.
Okay. So students, I have asked to count the number of edges. So what is an edge? Go by the definition. Edge is where the two faces meet. Now this is a face. This is also a face. So this will become an edge. Okay. So similarly, this
12.
Oh,
Shahiti
yes.
said 12. Kiran is saying 12.
Yes,
Lot
very
of
good.
12. Siddharth has said 12. Devansh
Great.
says 12. Galaxy, okay, sorry. Galaxy Tab. We need a name. Said 12.
Okay, that's interesting. Now we go to corners. Can you count the number of corners, students, or the vertex, number of vertex?
8. Chetan said 8.
Yes, yes, very good.
Very good, students. Very good. Siddharth said 8.
Okay, so now we learned about cuboid. Now we will learn something about cube also. Okay, so cube is also another 3D shape. Okay, so students, the best example of a cube, you know, you have seen dice. Okay, the one with you play your games and all indoor games, dice. Okay, or you can take a Rubik's cube. This is best example.
This is mine. I hope you all have one at home, students. I love this, and I love playing with this when I'm not here with you, lovely students. So this is a cube. Am I correct, Jaren sir?
Yeah, this is a cube. So Amrita, how many numbers are there on the dice?
Help me out here, Jaren sir. You tell me.
Okay, so I'll ask the students. I think students will answer this. How many numbers are there on the dice, students? Okay, let me see. What are the students giving the answer as? 6. So that means
we're getting a lot of 9s also.
We're getting 9s also. Okay. So I've seen. So how many? Can you count the number of faces on the Rubik's cube, Amrita, and see how many are there?
Students, can you help me? Let's see if we can give Jaren sir the correct answer. So how many faces on a Rubik's cube?
Yes, 6. Very good. So we have
6, Jaren sir.
Yes, we have 6 faces. And how many edges we have? Can you count the number of edges? What are the students? What are the students saying? Let me see.
We have 8, 12, 2. Somebody said 68 also. So
that's good. 8. So it's like 12. So yes. Yes. So students, you can use a Rubik's cube or a dice to count the number of edge. Okay. And we have how many vertices? We have 8 vertices in a cube.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's interesting. So now, students, let's do a question. We have learned about cube and cuboid. We will do a question related to this. A cube is made by joining surfaces like this. Deepa wants to make a cube. Which set of sheets should she choose? You have got 3 options, students. I'll launch the poll after 30 seconds. Okay. Let's see. Do not answer in the chat box, students. Yes, very good, students. Very good. Let me see how many of you get it correct. Okay, so now we are going to launch the poll and you will be getting 40 seconds to solve it.
A few students have raised their hands. We will take up your questions at the end of the webinar.
So maybe they are raising their hands because they have done the question, I think. Yes. Yes. Very good, students. Good to see students. Yes. Yes. I could see Likit doing some calculations. Good, Likit. Okay. Now we will
Have a
see the
another 5
answer.
seconds.
Okay. So,
I will share the results with Jerin sir. Let us see what he tells us.
yes. Okay. So set B is the answer which 71% of you have picked up. That's interesting. So
Yeah.
students, let us now see how many faces are there in cube. We know that there are 6 faces. Very good. So do you, have you seen a dice? So dice, all the faces are equal, right? The best example of a dice is a best example of a cube is dice. So all the faces are equal, which means what? It should look like this, right? This does not have, this does not have 6 faces. Only A and B has 6 faces. In B, we can see all the faces are equal. In A, we can see that all of them are not equal, which means she will have to use option B, right? Okay, interesting. Good to see students now enjoying the class. We'll learn about 2 more things. We'll learn about cone. So the best example of a cone is what? It is an ice cream cone. And can you count the number of faces there, students? It has a curved face and it has a circular face also. Okay, so we have how many faces? We have got 2 faces and we have got 1 edge. Can you see the edge? So what is an edge? Edge is basically where the 2 faces meet. So we know this is one face, this is the other face. So we now know how many face, how many edge, and how many vertex are there in a cone. Let's learn about sphere. So the best example of sphere is what? A soccer ball. So you know soccer ball is round in shape. Yes. So what do you think? How many faces a soccer ball will have? It will have, yes, 1 face. Very good, students. And it will have 0 edges and 0 vertex, right? Very good. Okay. Now let's revise. So students, we are going to revise now. Very important to take notes. So we learned about 2D shapes. We learned about 3D shapes. What do 2D shapes have got? 2D shapes have got length and breadth. You remember rectangle, you remember square. Yes, so 2D shapes have got length and breadth. What do 3D shapes have? 3D shapes have length, breadth, and height. Very good, Arush. I could see Arush speaking out. Very good. Okay. Now, what else is there in a 2D shape? 2D shapes have sides and corners. You remember that triangle figure? We drew the sides, we drew the corner. Yes. And what will 3D shapes have? 3D shapes will have face, will have edge, and will have corner. Okay. What is the example of 2D shape? Rectangle, square, circle, or it could be triangle. What is the example of a 3D shape? It is cuboid, it is cone or sphere or the cone. Okay. So we have learned about 2D shapes. We have learned about 3D shapes. Did you enjoy students learning?
Let's give a big thumbs up to Jerin sir.
Very good.
They're very, very good students, Jerin.
Okay, that's interesting. So students, are you ready for something interesting now? Yes. Okay. So as I said,
Yeah. So students, as you all know, we have a challenge coming up. Parents, please be there with your child to help them with the formalities and then they can fill the details correctly. I think on your screens, we will soon be having a challenge question coming up. Do stay tuned till the end because the winners will be announced at the end of the webinar. I can see that you all are very, very excited. So we will be sharing soon the link in the chat box Parents, we request you to please be there with the students. Please help them fill up the formalities required in the form so that they do not get those incorrectly. And students, be ready with your pen, be ready with your notebook. Do read the question very, very carefully. Answer it. You will have 60 seconds to submit your answers. Only 60 seconds. That is a minute to answer your question. Please note that only the 3 fastest fingers submitting the correct answers will be the winners. I emphasize once again, we will only be having 3 winners, and the first 3 correct entries, the first 3 correct answers received will be the winners. That is why it is fastest finger. So firstly, read the question carefully, answer quickly, and let us see who will be the winner at the end of the webinar. So Jerin sir, should we share the question with the students in the chat?
I could see many parents coming up and they're ready to help out their students. That's good, interesting.
Please help the children with filling up the formalities so that we have the correct information, correct data to identify the students. And we will be sharing the link in the chat box with you. Click on the link and it will lead you. You'll be required to fill in some basic data like your name, class, etc. After you fill it in, please select the answer. And students, please carefully read the question and carefully answer. Again, only 60 seconds to answer. That's just a minute. And the first 3 correct entries will be the winners. And the winners will be announced at the end of the webinar. So please stay put with us.
Okay, so here we go. We go with the question. So the question is, Sanya drew a shape using only 5 lines. Each line was a straight line. Which of the following shapes could be the one Sanya drew? Do not answer in the chat box, students. We are going to share a link with you. Please read the question. We will share the link shortly. Don't worry. I have a timer coming up. Yes, I could see the link has come. And now you get 60 seconds to solve it.
Parents, please click on the link. Enter the details required. Students, meantime, carefully read the question.
Yes, the link is there in the chat box. Okay. So we have got almost 45 seconds. I'll give you 5 seconds extra, students, because there was a little delay in the message. Got still 30 seconds left. Yeah, I could see parents also solving the question. That's interesting. We've got 20 seconds left now. Okay, that's interesting. We've got 10 seconds left now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we end the poll now. I hope all of you have answered it. We end the quiz now. We end the fastest finger challenge now.
So parents, while our team, collates the answers and sees who got the correct answer and who the winners are, and we try and understand, please stay put, be part of the webinar, because we will be announcing the winners at the end of the webinar. It will take us that much time to just find out who the winner is. So Jerin, how do you think the students have done?
Yeah, it's good to see students and parents equally attempting. That's great. But students, let me share with you that I'm not going to tell the correct answer of this. I'm going to share it at the end only. Okay.
Thank you once again, parents, for your active participation. Winners will be announced at the end of the webinar. Our team is collating the results, and we are as excited as you are to see who wins. Only 3 winners.
Okay. So students, parents, are you all there with me? Yes. Okay, that's great.
So parents and students, we looked at the questions and also the responses shared by the students, just like Jaren sir just taught us now. And immediately you notice that there were some poll results after teaching immediately. This is very common. And this is something which happens in a natural normal classroom. Jaren, can you please explain the reason why there are learning gaps in such a circumstance?
Sure. So let me share it with you that the learning gap, the reason of the learning gap could be that the child is not able, is not able to understand the concepts which are taught in lower grades. For example, we learned about 3D and 2D shapes, right? So 3D and 2D shapes, they actually start from grade 2, and even grade 1, we know what is length, how do we measure that and all. So as we move forward, if these concepts, so 2D and 3D shapes at grade 4, if these are not clear, then this becomes then, as they move higher and higher, the students, they suffer in their concept. And this is not because the teacher has not taught well, or is it not because a student was not attentive. It is because, there were misconceptions or there were some learning gaps, and we need to address that. Okay, so students, before we move forward, I've got few requests from the side of the parents that they were not able to submit the response, and I'll give you a chance to do it once again, students. I'll give you another 60 seconds to solve this question, students. I'm going to share the link with all of you again. So students, I hope all of you are ready. Okay. I want all of you to participate, and we have the link in the chat box now. Yes. So students and parents, you can again share your answers for the questions. We have deleted the previous responses. This will be a fresh response which will be catered. Okay. I want every one of you to participate. I could see students raising their hands. That's good, students. We will talk with you at the end. I think the URL is visible to all of you in the chat box. Yes, great. Okay. Now we could see that, okay, this is good. So we have 10 more seconds left, students. Okay, so the last 5 seconds left. So time up. Okay, so we'll be collating the results and sharing it with you. And till the time we collate the result, we will discuss the further context of the webinar.
Yes, Jaren. I think the parents will be, very interested to know about the learning gaps. Like when you were teaching earlier in the webinar, similarly in the classroom also a teacher teaches, makes some questions, asks the students, and they answer. Some answer correctly, like we noticed in the polls when you put up the questions to the students. Some don't answer correctly. Why is that despite you teaching so well, so clearly, explaining everything, at time a student does not understand, and it leads to a little learning gap?
Sure, I'll explain to this. As I said this, the reason could be different. It could be like the students have not understood the previous concepts. And because of this, the students, they have not built the base for the concepts which are learned right now. So that is the reason why it's very important that we close our learning gaps as we move up the higher grades, so that we don't lose our marks, and also the concepts are also very clear to us.
So if I'm able to understand correctly, if I'm unable to solve the questions on shape, like what we studied today, what you taught us today, then the possible reason could be that I have a misconception in the basics of shapes, which is actually taught in a lower grade at a younger age. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
So this is dangerous. In fact, don't you think it's very, very dangerous? What do you think is the solution for this, Jaren sir? Do you think a student should take extra tuition classes? Should they, go on for online teaching, tuitions from teachers? Or what do you think is the best way to learn, especially during these unprecedented times?
The best answer to this is like impactful teaching with
Okay.
daily practice. And when I say I practice, the reason why I mentioned here I practice is like intelligent practice. Okay. So what is intelligent practice? I'll show it through MindSpark. So students, I hope all of you are ready. Most of you have explored MindSpark. We'll have a look at MindSpark once again. Okay, I'll just share my screen with all of you in a while. Just give me a second.
Meanwhile, I will just share with you parents that, this sounds the correct way to do it. Do you agree, parents, that no learning is complete without practice? Practice is very, very important. After all, it is practice that makes learning permanent. And that is what MindSpark ensures, especially when practiced on after eye learning. So if you practice on MindSpark after eye learning, we have no doubt that 100% learning will be permanent. And Jaren sir is just going to show us how.
So MindSpark is actually a web-based application. Okay, so you just have to go to Google Chrome and type MindSpark URL, which is www.mindspark.in. And once you go to that, you have individual username and password to plug in. So I plugged into my ID. I'm going to do questions which are shapes and space. Okay, so students, you have a question. Amina has a matchbox. On tracing it, which of these shapes will she get? Will she get a cube? Will she get a circle? Will she get a rectangle? Or will she get a triangle? So I'll pick the correct answer for this and see what is the explanation that MindSpark is actually giving. So this is how MindSpark actually helps me in doing the questions. Now see the question here. This is a question which we did. Okay. Yes, let me answer it correctly now. Okay, and now we'll do one more question. Okay, so a parent has asked, like, what will happen if I answer the question wrong? So if I answer the question wrong, so let me do this question wrong, okay, and see how actually MindSpark is helping me with the explanation. See, this is how MindSpark actually helps me in the explanation. And this is how the concepts are remediated one by one.
So, Jaren sir, so that I understand, if as a student, I choose the correct answer, I calculate, I give the correct answer, then also MindSpark gives me an explanation. Absolutely. And if I do the answer incorrectly, then also it gives me a detailed explanation telling me where I have gone wrong and why I haven't understood it.
Absolutely right. So that is how the learning gaps are remediated.
Understood. But Jaren sir, like my teacher, like my child's teacher in school, gives, these little stars and gives these little extra marks like a shabash to the child, which makes the child feel proud. And the parents also come to know. How will MindSpark do that?
MindSpark has basically a reward system wherein if the students do questions correctly, we'll get Sparkies, we'll get shields, and there are basically targets. So every child has to do correct questions, 60 correct questions, and if they do achieve that, then they get trophies, they got shields and all. This is how MindSpark actually builds up the learning of the child. And Amrita, I just showed you, yes.
Like in a school, we get rewarded, we get a certificate or we get a thing. here, Mindspark awards you with Sparkies. Very interesting. This is very, very nice for students. But Jaren sir, I had it out. Is Mindspark only a student learning platform?
Mindspark, what I showed you is just one side of it. Let me show you how do I use Mindspark as a teacher. So for example, this is my class and I have activated the topic called shapes and space for my class. Now I can see the name of the students who have actually done this particular topic. Okay. So I could see the name of the student who has done the questions correctly. Okay. Now, so I use it by two ways. For example, if this is a child, I can see what all questions he has done. Okay, how many questions did he do? How many did he do wrong? And what were the questions? So I can help him by clicking on the wrong answers and then helping him remediate that. And in our Mindspark live class, we exactly do that. Okay, let me share it with you that how do I use for a class report. Now see, I can click on common wrong answers, then I would be able to see the common wrong answers that the Mindspark that students have done in. So I can use this and improve my teaching and also help the students close their misconceptions in the learning gaps.
So as a teacher, you have complete insight and you have complete eyes on what the student is doing. Absolutely. You can see exactly how many correct answers, how many incorrect answers, where they've gone wrong, what concept is not clear to them. Yes, absolutely. Brilliant, brilliant. This is very, very interesting. Excuse me. Jaren sir, this is really, really interesting. Thank you for sharing this with us. But Jaren sir, parents have so many options these days online. There are tuition classes, free online videos, and so many others. Can you share some pointers, which will help a parent decide? Sure. So this is a question which I get normally when I interact with the parents. And let me share that, videos, worksheets, they're all passive way of learning. There is no communication between the child and the teacher. And if I talk about tuition classes, they're like one to many. And if it is one-to-one, then the cost goes on a higher side. And the focus is just to complete the course. There is no revision and it's actually no parental interaction is there. So when parents, they don't just need reports, they need actionables. And it's, as I said, very, very expensive. If it's just a video based, very expensive. So this means that even though the students are attending these classes, there is no interaction and there is no way of knowing their learning and how far it is impacting them. However, parents, we conduct Mindspark live class in which the batch size is very small so that each child gets attention. The teacher teaches the concept and then there is Mindspark, like we just showed you, which is personalized for every child. Every child has their unique login ID. So there is personal attention to the child. We use artificial intelligence and machine learning in Mindspark, which actually enables teaching and learning. So in a nutshell, the entire teaching process is customized for a child. There is instant remediation, clearance of doubts, and we follow a scheduled timetable. There are weekly reports and monthly interaction. And all of this is available at a fraction of a cost. But Jaren, as a parent, I want to know, how can you be so sure about the students learning through Mindspark live classes? So let me share what the world is talking about Mindspark. If I talk about Mindspark being one of the best online learning tools, the world is actually saying that. We are the only organization which has been reviewed, recognized, awarded by the Economist twice. In fact, Harvard Business School, they published a case study on Mindspark, which talks about improving learning outcomes. And you know what? We have been just shortlisted by UNESCO as one of the organizations, one of the finalists, which improves outcomes in teaching learning. And this is so exciting for us also. That is extremely, and that's like very, very impressive, Jaren sir. So parents, that means, with Mindspark Live, plus usage of Mindspark will ensure 100% learning. And so let me share how to utilize best the live class feature of MindSpark. We have grades 3rd and 4th. The entire mathematics syllabi is covered, and we cover this within 24 to 26 weeks. There is a particular schedule that we follow, like on Monday and Thursday, we have our instructors teaching live for an hour. On both the days, they teach, and on the other days, students practice for 30 minutes a day on MindSpark. This will create a lot of impact. So a total of 5 hours a week. We have highly qualified teachers with more than 10 years of teaching experience. There is weekly communication with the parents, and don't worry, just in case for any reason you miss out on the session, the child misses out on the session, we have a recorded session available for them. We use the platforms of Zoom and of course MindSpark. And well, we are all now in these unprecedented times using laptops, smartphones, and of course, a reliable internet connection is always very useful. So let me share what students will get from a MindSpark live class. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. So personalized teaching to ensure the conceptual understanding, just like Jaren sir explained, and unlimited practice questions, games and worksheets and tests to make the learning permanent, and a better preparation for a better result. And of course, the best outcome, no fear of mathematics. For parents too, MindSpark has a lot to offer. Like reports are shared with them, which highlight their child's progress in each topic and concept. The learning gaps of their child are also highlighted, and actionables for improvement are provided. There are detailed weekly and monthly reports. Parents get best of both the worlds, human in the live classes and technology through MindSpark, which improves results and creates a self-regulated learner. Now coming to the pricing, you all must be wondering, what is the pricing of MindSpark? You would be surprised. It is not too much. MindSpark live classes, which includes 24 weeks of live class, plus 52 weeks, which makes up for the whole year's maths practice, is only at a cost of 8,400 rupees per year. That is just 700 rupees a month. We have a special offer for all of you who have joined us today for this webinar. And there is a 20% discount, which will make the effective cost at only 6,740 rupees for a year. I again repeat, this price is for a year and it's just 562 rupees for a month. You can please go to our website. There are flexible payment options. And of course, our team will also get in touch with you. Meanwhile, if you have any queries, please feel free to share it in the chat box. We will take it up with you at the end of the webinar. I would request you all to also note that we have a lot of international students with us. And like I mentioned, Educational Initiatives is present in 19 countries. Yes, we do have a lot of international students too. And for them, we have a special price of $125 per year. That is, of course, after a discount for them also. To register, please log in to www.mindspark.in. You could take a free trial, and of course, you could purchase MindSpark. Jaren, I am very excited. I think the students and the parents are also very excited. We have our winners. So are we ready to announce the winners?
Yes, we are getting ready to announce the winners, and our team has collated the data.
So could you share the results with us, sir?
Sure, we will be sharing the results with us. Okay, so we have got 2 winners. So Ahmed Mohiddin and Bharti Yachan Dhawan, they are the 2 winners. So students, congratulations. Can we all see, can you just both raise your hands if I could see you?
Ahmed and Bharti. And you know, Ahmed was also very, very attentively giving mostly the correct answers in the chat.
Oh, that's good. I've seen Ahmed, but I didn't see Bharti here. So congratulations, students. So both of you will be getting MindSpark subscriptions, and our team will get in touch with you, okay, and they will share the details with you. Can I see Ahmed? I have not seen Ahmed. I have not even seen Amrita. Could you find them?
No, I am also searching for them, but I cannot seem to find them. But nonetheless, our team will be getting in touch with the lucky winners, and we've started getting some queries, Jerin sir.
Sure. Okay, so I'll address one by one. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Surely, if you want to subscribe to Mindspark, yes, our team will get in touch with you. Yes, you have the
Yes.
flexible
Sorry,
options.
do note down the details provided on your screen right now. Feel free to call on those numbers or email us for any further queries also, and our team will also be contacting you.
Soumi ma'am, our parents, our team will get in touch with you. We do definitely have flexible options available. Our team will definitely get in touch with you. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, please? Thank you, parents, for joining us. We'll be coming surely next
Yes,
week.
Sarah and Raksh had raised their hands. If you have any query, please feel free to post it on the chat box now. We could address it.
Okay.
Okay. Please note that for the surprise question, it is only valid for those 60 seconds. Am I correct, Jerin sir?
Yes, yes. It's only valid for the 60 seconds. Yes, now the link is closed. Now you will not be able to answer it. It's only valid for 6 seconds.
Yes, we have 2 winners and we've announced the names.
So do join us for all the webinars that we have. Do join us for Mindspark live classes. We come with many interesting questions, interesting activities in our live classes, and students are really enjoying it. So thank you, students. Thank you, parents, for joining us. I hope all of you, I wish all of you to have a good Sunday.
Yes.
Do take care of your health.
Enjoy yourselves. Take a break, and happy mind sparking. We are very happy to see you all every week. Join us for this webinar.
I could see now Ahmed. I could see Ahmed on screen. Ahmed, can you just unmute yourselves? We would be happy to hear from you. Yes, Ahmed. Can you just give a hi to everyone? Yes, Ahmed.
Sir, I don't know that how did it come?
Okay, you don't know how it came, but you have answered the question, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So you will be getting Mindspark.
I thought it was wrong or not.
Okay, that's great. So you have actually won a Mindspark subscription. You'll be getting a call from our team shortly. And the other person to win, can I see that person also? Okay. I think she has left the class. Thank you, students, for joining us. Have a good day, all of you. Thank you.